Kyle, do you feel like you're a tech-savvy person?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like above average, you think?
Well, I mean, I feel like people come to me when they don't know what to do with their computer.
Sure. But like, do you feel like only below average people? Like only bad tech people? And when I say bad, I mean villainous.
I don't know if I want to out them all on this podcast, Emily. No, I feel like I'm pretty tech savvy. How about you, Emily? I mean, I feel like you're just as tech savvy as I am, if not more.
Yeah, I think so. I think we both had the dad advantage there, you know?
Yes. Wow. I've never given a name to it, but that's exactly what it is, huh?
That, like, my dad has worked in IT for, like, his whole life. Your dad, Radio Shack?
PC Richards.
PC Richards. Yeah. We should call out companies directly, right?
Yes. Buy your appliances from him. You'll get the Dad Vantage discount.
Get the Dad Vantage discount. This is a great ad campaign.
Yeah. I'm sure he's going to love this.
This is like football players come to do guest spots in our commercials.
Welcome to Butter No Parsnips. Every week on Butter No Parsnips, your hosts Emily Moyers and Kyle Imperator take you on an adventure through the weird, wacky, wonderful, and sometimes even wicked world of one wayside word. Strange characters, delightful bits, and general joyousness abound. Join them as they test each other's etymological expertise.
Hey everybody, welcome to Butter No Parsnips. I'm Emily Moyers.
And I'm Kyle Imperator, and I have a feeling that the word today is going to be beyond my ken when it comes to tech savviness. But I'm so excited to hear it.
No, I think you'll get this word. It's a little word, Kyle. The little words are always so simple and easy to guess.
There's never anything complex about them at all.
No, absolutely not. You ready?
I'm ready.
Your word today is mung, M-U-N-G, also sometimes pronounced munge, M-U-N-G.
Oh, munge.
Yeah, I would say more historically pronounced mung.
I mean, mung is a bean. Does that count?
That is one of the definitions. That's not the one I want to chat about today.
Oh, but that doesn't count.
I should establish mung has a lot of meanings in a lot of different languages.
Sure.
We're going to talk about one.
One. And in English, preferably.
Yes.
Okay. I feel like this is something that comes from an acronym. Is it a word that comes from an acronym?
It is not a word that comes from an acronym.
I don't like the way you wavered. Your voice got a little, like there was a little twinge of sadness in it. It's not that comes from an acronym. So instead, munge is an acronym.
It can be.
It can be. Oh, and in which case mung stands for many others nearby gals.
Oh, I don't like that they're nearby.
It's a call out. Many others nearby gals.
And are the gals bovines?
I mean, depends on who you want to get the attention of. Or it could just be, some milk-loving ladies.
Nope.
Emily, give me a hint, please.
Okay, Kyle, your hint, and I don't know if you'll know the hint. Your hint is foobar.
Oh,
Okay, hey, I was gonna tell the censor to get ready, but it looks like it's a little late, so I hope he was already ready.
FUBAR is an acronym.
It is.
Is it like effed up, better, artly, recline?
Yep, it is effed up, better, artly, recline.
Is the F word in there?
It is. It is effed up beyond all recognition.
Beyond all recognition. I was thinking of snafu.
That's another good one.
Yeah. So is the main definition you're looking for an acronym for mung?
That's the one we're going to talk about.
Is there another
there are
language of origin that I should know
Old
about?
English.
Old English. That makes
goes
a
back
lot
that
of
far.
sense. Emily, I'm going to give one guess and then we're going to move on. And my guess is going to be mung means just like miffed, like messed up is a mung. Is it a noun?
It's a noun or a verb.
Okay. So to mung is just like screw up.
Kyle, I'm going to give it to you. You're pretty right there.
I'm stunned. Oh, I feel like, I won the, Miss Universe and I didn't expect it.
Like you just walked on stage and they said, it's you. Yeah, so Mung as a noun, it can mean a mingling, a mixture, or a confusion or a mess.
A mung is a mess.
Yeah, and as a verb, it can mean to make a mixture of, or it can mean to make damaging, irreversible changes.
Oh, this is a fun word, Emily.
It is a super fun word.
Please tell me more about it and perhaps how it relates to tech.
I will. Well, we're going to get to the techie stuff.
Okay.
Let's start with the old boring stuff.
Let's start with why people will shut this podcast off.
No, it's actually not. It feels like a treasure hunt when you're going back to the old English words,
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's very far back. There's not a lot of, I would say, reliable sources that are that old. The words tend to shift and evolve a lot over time.
Right.
But what makes this word fun is that in its evolution, Mung connects with a lot of other modern words. So we're kind of going to use that,
Love that
to trace our path.
I love that, Emily. Draw out a history for us, please.
So Mung likely derived from a pair of Old English words, Gemang, Gemang, and Imung, Ymong. Those were I think basically the same word, but spelled and pronounced slightly differently and used, I think, around the same time. Hard to tell. Like I said, very old.
I feel like I recognize that from some of the Old English texts I've looked at.
Sure. Yeah. Both of them were nouns, meaning mixture or assembly or company. Can you guess what modern word we might get from imung?
I mean, immediately I thought among.
You got it, Kyle. So gemang was sometimes used with the prefix on, meaning with or supported by, to make ongemong.
Oh, yeah.
Which is rough. But that
rough, it's a deity.
Yeah. Praise ongemong.
Praise ongemong.
But that unstressed syllable, the g in gemong or the I in imung, got dropped over time, as often happens with unstressed syllables. So ongemong became onmung, became among.
I love when language gets easier.
Yeah, it does. But a lot of times it gets more complicated first and then reverts back.
Hey, what if we made this impossible?
Yeah. And imung, the Ymong word, became mung when its unstressed syllable dropped. And that is still a noun meaning a mixture or a mingling. Can you guess what modern word we get from there?
Oh, that's not
I'll say again, it means a mixture or a mingling.
Oh, mingle?
Yeah, you got it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But it's not when you think about what is often most changeable in old words are the vowels.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's just the sounds in between.
Yeah.
Case in point, over the centuries, this word has been mung, spelled with a U or an O, but also meng with an E and ming with an I. And in those forms, we see it being used as a verb, meaning to mix one thing with another. And that could be mixing things together or bringing people together. And that is sort of the same broad use that we use mingle with.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's interesting that that little was added at the end at some point.
Yeah, there's probably a lexical meaning there. I was more focused on the ming and the mung and the mang. Which is also a late 80s dance craze.
Yes, exactly. Hey, all you groovy cats. That's the 80s, right?
That was your B-52's impression, right?
Yeah. You gotta do the mung.
There it is. Spot on. So just in case anyone was wondering that they missed out a vowel, mang was also used to mean mix, but kind of to mix in a slapdash way, maybe.
Oh.
Can you guess what modern word we get from there?
Oh, wow. I love this. Oh, my gosh. There's a game before the game, Emily.
There is. This is the last one.
Mangle?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow. Emily. Oh, my God. That's crazy that these words are related.
Yeah. So mang and ming were primarily used in Old and Middle English, all those variations of the word. Not as much after like the 1500s, but mang is actually still used in Newfoundland slang to mean mix roughly.
To just mang it.
But separately from that, mang came through Middle Dutch as mangelen, meaning to mingle, to exchange, or to fight. And that came through French as mangler, with a ler, meaning to mutilate. And that came back to English as to mangle, meaning to cause damage or destruction.
Oh.
So from English to Dutch and French, back to English.
And back to English. And that's how we get kind of two different... wow, I never considered those as like separate etymologies. That's so fun.
Yeah. Now, Kyle, hey, everybody.
Hey.
That was a lot of etymology back there.
Oh, God.
Let's take a little palate cleanser, you know? Kyle, what are some really good acronyms? We did a couple right at the top. FUBAR and SNAFU are really good ones.
SNAFU's one of my faves.
Can you tell the people what SNAFU is?
That's situation normal, all effed up.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one because people forget it's an acronym. People just use it as a word.
SCUBA is an acronym, isn't it?
It is. Do you know what that one stands for? That's a tough one.
Semi-aquatic underwater breathing apparatus.
The back half of that was right. It is self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
Good.
I'm a big fan of NAACP just because we say it like that.
Like it's a word. NAACP.
Yeah, like we don't say NAACP, we say AA, which is arguably takes just as long, if not longer, to say.
But it's funner.
It is. I like it. We've got different approaches to acronyms, and I like that.
It's true.
Any more before we continue?
I know one that's not an acronym that we always say is an acronym.
Oh, I like that.
Golf.
Do we say that's an acronym?
Yeah, there's like a myth that it means gentlemen only, ladies forbidden, but it just doesn't mean that. We don't know. I don't think we know where it comes from, but it's just not that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Comes from Dutch.
Well, that's why we don't know where it comes from.
It's just a mystery world to us.
Dutch, that's Mars.
Well, that was a nice little jaunt. Kyle, let's continue on our journey through Mung.
Yeah.
And you'll see why I bring this up.
I love this.
As I said, the definitions that I just ran through are very old and for the most part no longer used. But Mung is still used in the world of IT. And this is where that other definition I read at the top comes in, meaning to make changes that are often damaging and irreversible changes. That is the meaning it has in the tech world. And it is still used. Speaking of my dad vantage, I talked with my dad about this word. He has heard it said munge, but he has heard it used in IT parlance.
Love it. Parlance.
Yes. He said he's seen it used. The thing about IT words is that they're often communicated textually by the internet,
right.
and not actually spoken. Yeah. It seems like because it is like widespread over the internet, there's variations in how it's used. He said he's heard it used to mean like if someone like messes up a code that isn't working, they try to get it working, they mess it up so bad that it starts to work, but they don't know what they did.
Oh, fun.
So like from his perspective, munging is like basically throwing spaghetti at the wall and maybe it sticks, but you don't know why.
Right.
But it's also been used to mean if someone like makes changes to a code or damages a file or corrupts data like so badly that there's no getting it back. It's gone now.
Right.
That would be to mung it up. Yeah. And this origin, fortunately, I can trace for you exactly.
Oh, I love it. The day and time, please?
No, a little rougher than that. I can tell you it came about in the late 1950s from a student organization at MIT called the Tech Model Railroad Club.
Okay, so it's a model railroad club.
It is.
What's the tech part of it?
Well, I think the ones that like drive themselves around and stuff.
Wait, you said it was MIT?
It is.
Oh, so that's where the tech comes from.
Yes, it is. It is a technical college. Yeah. So this was a club that started in the 40s and was originally just dedicated to model trains. And they actually already had some renown in the modeling world because apparently they have a very impressive train layout set up that's like known. But the club was also just like a haven for nerdy, techie, problem-solving kind of guys who in the 50s and 60s became very interested in early computers. And thus, the Tech Model Railroad Club also became a hub for hacking culture.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow. So you're saying that Sheldon from Big Bang Theory isn't just an empty stereotype?
No, there is a link.
It.
There is a link.
Love it.
Between people who love trains and people who are good at computers.
This is good news for the world, honestly.
This is, yes. Interesting point of order there. Hacking, I did not know this until I talked to my dad. In most IT conversations, hacking does not actually mean the malicious meaning of like trying to break into or sabotage someone's computer. Hacking generally just means like tinkering with computers or experimenting or problem solving or just like doodling around on computers is hacking.
Around.
And a lot of hacker culture, or of early hacker culture, came out of TMRC, Tech Model Railroad Club.
Wow.
I use the lingo because I'm hip with those guys.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are like besties. Don't you go there? What is it, Tuesdays they meet?
Yeah, well, so I looked at their website. I assume it hasn't been updated since 2020 because the last update says, hey, meetings have been canceled for COVID.
In celebration of COVID.
In celebration. We did it.
We did it. It was us.
We hacked the planet.
They're gonna blame the Chinese, but it was us.
So funny. So the other thing is a lot of hacker slang came out of the TMRC. And in 1959, they actually put out a little dictionary.
Oh my gosh.
I've looked at it. It is basically just a list of inside jokes that these 50s college kids came up with.
I mean, that's what the internet is now, you know?
Literally.
They were just foreshadowing.
But just such a small group to post their inside jokes as if they're going to make sense to anyone else. But one of those entries reads in its entirety, Mung, mash until no good.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
So Mung, in this context, is what is called a bacronym. Do you know what that is, Kyle?
Well, a backronym is just something like golf. It's something that wasn't originally an acronym. It's just a word that's been ascribed an acronym to it.
Yes. So it can be, like you said with golf, something that is misascribed, like a false etymology, or it can be like an acronym that was created deliberately to spell out a word.
Like mnemonic devices.
Sure.
If it's a word. Like,
sure, yes. One of the examples I had written was the United States Congress loves using backronyms.
Oh, yeah.
For instance, Kyle, do you know what the USA Patriot Act, what that is actually named?
No, I thought you were going to tell me that Patriot was an acronym.
So the USA Patriot Act is, in fact, uniting and strengthening America by providing appropriate tools required to intercept and obstruct terrorism Act.
Oh, my God.
But, like, obviously they picked all those words because it spells out USA Patriot.
How do we get rid of these people?
I know. There's a ton of it. The CARES Act is also an acronym. All those. NASA also really likes to use them.
Sure.
I have a very fun example. In 2009, NASA held a contest to name a piece of equipment on the ISS. And Stephen Colbert, I think at that time on the Colbert Report, told all of his viewers to write in Colbert as a submission.
Oh my God.
And so now there is a treadmill on the ISS named the Combined Operational Load-Bearing External Resistance Treadmill, or Colbert.
That is so good. That's fun. That's using backronyms for the benefit of society, you know?
Yeah. So the students of TMRC were initially using Mung just as a word. I don't actually know whether they, like, knew the Old English word. It feels like they must have, given how nearby, like, mash until no good and mangle are very close. So it feels like they must have known.
Close, but they couldn't. I mean, was Mung being used in modern English to mean that?
I don't know. It's tough. I mean, it's tough to tell what was being used in spoken English. Like,
Yeah.
there are sporadic written examples. A 2005 version of that TMRC dictionary has a note that says club member David Sawyer used mung as an onomatopoeia for mechanical parts vibrating and hitting each other.
Oh, they're munging.
Which I guess makes sense.
Mung. Yeah, no, I like that.
Sure.
I
was
could
reading
go for
another
that.
site called Jargon File that had an entry on mung that says mung was also U.S. Army slang for chipped beef, which was a very gross but very common meal in the Army at the time.
I know what it is, yeah.
Yeah, you've seen it? It's horrifying.
I made chipped ham once.
Really?
Chipped beef is it's like cold cut beef, sloppy Joe form.
Yes, yeah. So that was sometimes called mung. So that might have been, and it's like that was coming off of World War II, so it might have been in the air.
Sorry, I'm just our
Kyle,
producer.
tell me more about that time you made chipped ham.
Yeah. Our producer had the chipped ham, and he's saying that his life is better now for having had it.
That is, I'm reading it.
He's saying that I should tell everybody at home that they should make their own chipped ham. It's an easy recipe. You get a slow cooker, you put a pound of deli ham in it, and then a bottle of ketchup and a bottle of Coca-Cola. Turn that baby on for about an hour till it marinates. Chipped ham. Put it on a bun.
I should say another like slang term for chipped beef during the war was SOS, which stood for like save our souls or shit on a shingle.
Yeah, our producer did say to make sure to write a suicide note before you eat either of these things.
Yeah, for sure. Regardless, they were using mung as a word, and then they later decided that mung should stand for mash until no good.
I mean,
which makes it a backronym.
I love it.
There's another type of acronym that I want to talk about, which is a recursive acronym. Have you ever heard of this?
I don't know if I have. I know. Is it one? No, I can't guess. I refuse to guess, frankly.
Okay. A recursive acronym is an acronym in which one of the letters stands for the acronym itself. It is like self-referential.
Like ATM machine.
No.
No, never mind.
That's a tautology, which is another fun thing. So I'll give you an example, because mung is actually one of the early examples of a recursive acronym that like started a trend in the tech world and at MIT in particular. By the mid-70s, mung was often defined not as an acronym for mash until no good, but an acronym for mung until no good.
So funny.
So it's just like an acronym that has itself in the definition.
Yeah, it's a bad definition.
Well, it's just to be funny, you know?
I mean, it's hilarious. In that case, they should get the Mark Twain Award.
Yeah, for sure. But there was like in the 70s, there was basically just a running joke of recursive acronyms.
So
Programmer Ted Anderson created a text programming editor called TINT, TINT, which stood for TINT is not Tico. And Tico was another text editor at the time.
That's fun.
Yeah. And a lot of them follow the is not format, because this inspired another text editor called Eine, as in the German one, and that stood for Eine is not Emacs. And again, Emacs is another editor. And that was later developed. Eine was later developed into Zwei, German
so
for two.
Good.
And Zwei was Eine initially.
That's so good.
And then
that's got both of them.
It does. And then Ted Anderson came back with another programming text editor called Sine, like sine wave, and that stood for sine is not Eine.
Wow. I mean, how do we get our hands on these programs? Just so I can...
They're all like ancient.
I would need a computer the size of my house if I wanted to.
You would for sure. But that's about all I got, Kyle. And now, just to make sure that we mung this word until it's no good, how about you use mung in a sentence?
Oh, God. Mung. Can you use it in a sentence?
I just did, honestly.
Yeah, you did.
And I will say, you can also say munge. In the IT context, it is mung or munge.
I do like munge, but I'm going to go with mung. And I'm going to say, wow, Emily, this is hard, huh?
I can give you some other uses that the IT definition has had. It ran through a bunch. You can also Mung your email address is a way to like type your email address in such a way that a computer couldn't recognize it as an email address, but like a human could. So like if you wrote like John Smith at gmail.com, that like a human would look at it and say, well, that's .com.
Oh.
But if like a spam bot was mining email addresses, it wouldn't pick up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
that
fun.
is also like mugging your email address.
That's a fun definition.
Yeah. So it has a lot of like definitions that are not necessarily, I guess they're close because they all involve mangling something, but the effect of the mangle or the intent of the mangle is variable.
Yeah. Okay. I have munged up so many of my computers in the past that I have resorted to relying very heavily on cloud-based data storage devices.
And that is wise.
Yeah.
Very good sense, guy.
Emily, thank you. Mung, such a great word. It's a fun word, and I love acronyms just in general. And I'm glad you could wrap that all in there.
Well, thanks, buddy. And if you love acronyms, I've got good news about the game.
I'm so excited.
Let's play a game, Kyle. Kyle, today's game is called What You See and What You Get. And as anyone in the IT world knows, computer nerds love coming up with fun little jargon for themselves. And a lot of their jargon is acronyms. So today's game couldn't be simpler. I'm going to give you the acronym. You're going to tell me what it stands for.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I can do this.
Your first one, and I'm going to say them how IT nerds would say them. Your first one is WYSIWYG, and that is WYSIWYG.
You gave me a hint. Or the answer for this one.
I did.
I'm going to say that this one is what you see is what you get.
It is. Very good. Bonus point. Do you know the context that is used?
I'm pretty sure only when you have to say the short man's name so that he goes away forever.
I'm very careful of you not to say his name just now.
Well, I didn't want to make him appear.
You didn't want to evoke him. We're talking about... nope.
Napoleon?
I'm insult somebody. What you see is what you get is used as opposed to like a markup language. So like if you're typing in a markup language, you're just going to see text. And then when you execute it, it's going to look the way you want it to look. But if you're using a WYSIWYG text editor like Microsoft Word, you can make it look how it's going to look right there in the text editor.
That's awesome.
Rather than having to use code.
That's great to have a concept to attach to those things now.
Yes. All right. Next one, Kyle, is BSOD. BSOD.
BSOD. BSOD.
You might get this if you're in the middle of doing something on the computer and that it all goes wrong. Catastrophically wrong. You get the BSOD.
Oh, blue screen of death.
You got it. Very good, Kyle.
Yeah. I, again... have munged up enough computers to have seen that screen a couple of times.
You know that screen. All right, your next one is GNU. GNU.
GNU?
Yeah.
The U, is that like user?
It is not. I will give you a slight hint and tell you that GNU was an operating system created in opposition to an existing operating system called Unix.
Unix. So, GNU's not Unix?
You got it! That is arguably the most famous recursive acronym in the IT world. GNU's not Unix.
I mean, that's fun because, like, a GNU feels like an imaginary animal. You know?
It is.
Love that.
And I should say, I know that the animal is pronounced with a silent G. The operating system, you pronounce the G, all right? Before everybody jumps on me. I did check.
I always pronounce it GNU. I know it's not pronounced that way. Is it not? I don't know.
I think the animal is a silent G.
It's fun when you say it out loud, you know?
It is, for sure. I have one more fun one, Kyle.
Okay. And then 10 more serious ones.
10 more unfun ones.
If you fail them, you lose your birth certificate. I'm going to shred it.
Your last one is PEBCAC.
Oh,
PEBKAC.
Please eat barley, Kyle. All correct.
All correct.
PEBCAC.
I can give you the situation for this one too if
Please,
you want a little hint.
Yeah.
This is what you might, if you are an IT guy, like diagnosing someone else's problem and you figured out that the problem is down to user error, this is what you might tell them if you were feeling sassy.
You might tell them
about the problem that they're having.
Problem equals bad Kyle. Actually.
That's the A and the C.
Yeah, the A and the C. Actually. Emily, yeah, I'm a loss. Tell me.
It is problem exists between keyboard and chair.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah.
Other similar acronyms in that vein are picnic, meaning problem in chair, not in computer. IBM error, idiot behind machine. Or
that one's good.
ID10T, which written out looks like idiot.
So funny.
Because if there's another thing that computer nerds love, it is how much they hate people that don't know how to use computers.
Yep.
Kyle, that's all I got for you on Mung.
Emily, what a great episode. It's so wonderful that we have this old word that has such a new life in the computer world.
Oh, and isn't that just what computers are all about?
Isn't that? I mean, truly, it's why we're going to bring back Unix someday. And I'm not talking about the operating system. I'm talking about castrating people.
Kyle's in a bad headspace today. I just want everyone to know that. Kyle's jokes are bad today. Just do the outro.
But we had a great time here today. If you guys want to learn more at home, remember that you can find Butter No Parsnips on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram at Butter No Parsnips Podcast, and we're on TikTok at Butter No Parsnips. And if you liked today's episode, please consider giving us a 5-star rating or review wherever you heard us.
And if you really liked today's episode, consider donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/butternoparsnips. Donating $5 or more earns you a shout out either on social media or right here on the podcast.
Thanks so much to all of you. You help us make what we make.
And with that, I've been Emily Moyers.
And I've been Kyle Imperator, and this has been Butter No Parsnips.
Butter No Parsnips is produced by Seth Glicksman, Kyle Imperator, and myself, Emily Moyers. The main theme and accompanying themes were composed by Kyle Imperator.